And I think that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot to say. It's just been a great journey, and I hope that I keep coming here for a very long time. That's it.
Can we ask you a few questions?
Yeah.
We can ask you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. All right.
I did not know this has a Q&A.
You're a celebrity now. 10 years of drumming means you're a celebrity.
Also, we were expecting a long journey. You just ended it.
Take the journey out of you.
I'll tell you a little bit. Nishtha is a very good Bharatnatyam dancer. And she's done what is that thing called? And she's also been playing drums since a very long time. 10 years, that's what we celebrated. She's also done a developmental psychology, and in Scotland she came back and she's now working in Prasanna Autism Center as a music therapist.
Oh, super.
So now that you have the background, you can ask us.
Music therapy, for those who don't know music therapy, there is a video where I have explained in my session of 10 years of drumming. So you can see the video there as well. I have explained music therapy there.
So I have a question, two questions in fact. One is why did you choose drums over all the other instruments? Because it's one of the most rare instruments that we generally pick up.
Yeah.
And my second question is more about what you're doing recently.
Okay.
In terms of the career that you've chosen. What was really your inspiration, and where do you want to go with that? So two questions, very different, but
Yeah, that's
maybe you
fine.
can decide
So
which
the
one.
first one, drums. I remember I was sitting in school on a sports day. I hated sports. Both of us, I was sitting with a few friends in 7th standard, and a friend of mine asked, what instrument would you learn if you had an option to learn some musical instrument? So I thought of it and I'm like, yes, I would like to learn how to play drums, and guitar was the next option if I don't find a class for drums. And I remember I come back home, I talk to my parents, they were like, just choose an instrument, we'll find a class. And I used to go to Jungle Book when I was a small kid. So my mom remembered that there was a drum kit over there. Sir's been teaching there for I don't even know how many years.
No, I'm not that old. In my father's time.
How long you have been teaching in the Jungle Book?
Chalo.
Jungle
It's a direct question now.
I started teaching when I was in 10th standard, so
So that's where Mama spoke to Jas Auntie, and Jas Auntie gave Sir's number, and that's how I started learning. Like, I just cancelled guitar. Everybody told me choose the guitar, it's easier, you can carry it everywhere, and I did not want an instrument I can carry it. So
then
yeah,
you should have taken flute. Easier to carry.
My options were drums and guitar. But yeah, so that's my drums. Music therapy, my inspiration, I actually have not thought about this, but I don't know, I always loved music. So since childhood, my parents tell me that I used to keep singing, I used to keep listening to music, I always liked that. Then they thought, and I liked dance, so that's where my parents put me for Bharatnatyam. And I had a great time, I loved it. And then with music, once I started learning how to play drums, and I grew up, I looked at, when I had to choose a career, I was looking at all the options, and I found psychology really interesting. And to a great extent, I think, I don't know inspiration, but yes, I have been looking at Balsa and I think somewhere along the line I'm just following him. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Nishtha, I have another question coming up. So apart from drumming, how do you used to manage Bharatnatyam as well? Because drumming can be easy, it can take like a few days or a few months, but Bharatnatyam can take many years. So how do you...
Drumming also takes
So how do you used to manage both together?
He himself has completed 10
I
years.
started at different times, so it did not. I remember I started learning dance when I was in 1st standard, and I joined drums when I was in
8th standard.
8th standard. So by then I had learned dance.
So usually even
manage
when
my-
people come to me with this, I tell that any classical form of art, like tabla, be it, or classical dance, start early. Like, as soon as possible. And any folk music like guitar, drums, you can always start. You should start like late. Because that's when your personality comes in. You know, you're a little more older, and
For me, it was coincidence.
Yeah,
want to
the same
impress
thing has happened to
people.
me also. Because I also used to start with Indian on piano when I was young. Then before I came here.
So I have a question. So good, whatever you're doing is really great. So just one question, what you are doing right now. So does musical therapy help unwiring or rewiring in the brain physically, because everybody is differently wired, right? Based on our conditioning and based on our upbringing. So
Nothing is going to be nothing can ever be a permanent solution to rewire, but it can always make anything better. It can always show improvement. It can always help in some or the other way. You can't. It's never going to change the wiring, but will always help to act as a facilitator to improve in other areas of your life. So,
and you are experiencing it in your whatever concept.
yeah, I have not only like experience, but I've seen so many people in the last 10 years itself. So many students, so many friends, and the improvement they made, or just how much it has helped them as an individual. And it's not just the people I've met, but people I've heard of, people who have spoken about their experiences, them working with their different age groups all across the lifespan. So yeah, it's just very inspiring to know that it helps so much.
at a neurological level,
Yeah,
there are
actually-
lots of studies which show, like for example, if you pick up the violin, then there is a definite change in the neuronal connectivity between the motor, fine motor, because you're doing a lot of this, and sound. So for those guys, those area parts of the brain are far more kind of, how would I say, not developed, but more neurons connected. And even musicians have a more better biparietal coordination. So the bridge between the two hemispheres, what is it called? Corpus callosum. Corpus callosum is more better enlarged in musicians, because now when you're playing music, like say for example when Sunny was playing the drums, there's a lot going on, right? You're listening, okay? You're then moving your muscles according to that music in rhythm. Then you are also remembering the sequence. Okay, now our verse has come, now the chorus will come. So there's a lot of cognitive processing happening. There is so much of mental and physical exercise that's happening that it's obvious that your brain is going to change. I mean, even with Sudoku, your brain changes. So why not with So yeah, it's quite. I mean, there are schools of music which go more esoteric, that there are vibrations and there are certain rags which will affect your organ and all that. That requires more scientific basis to check. But these are very empirical. You can yourself observe that, okay, if I have problem, that many people who stutter, they can sing very well. So it's very empirical. You can observe, experience it for yourself. You know that music creates a state change. You're feeling low, you play music, you can feel different. So all these are very. So that's the beauty of music. That's why it's being used nowadays. A lot of research is being done in music and motor, for example. That rhythmic cue, how it helps Parkinson's patients walk better, or stroke victims. So there's so many videos online. You can see where people who couldn't walk, but with this tick tock, just giving them this rhythmic cue. The minute I do this, you're already swaying to this. So yeah, there's lots. It's a very vast subject.
Just yesterday there was an interesting article in Times of India, Speaking Free. It was about music.
Okay.
And there were a couple of things it said about, one, we talk about human beings, but imagine if you play music to plants, they grow faster and better. And the other thing is, there was this anecdote which was mentioned about, there was this person who was convicted for murder or something and was supposed to be hung till death or something. And then when one of the counselors went and met him and asked him this question about what do you like, he said, I love music. And he went and made an appeal that anybody who loves music cannot be inhuman, and therefore he should not be given a death sentence. And that sentence was changed to life imprisonment, which is fact. It is basically that if you commit a crime,
Good
you are a
argument.
musician, then don't worry about getting.
Yeah.
One more benefit. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions? Anyone from the online side? Any questions for Nishtha?
Can we request a performance from Zubin sir?
But I don't. Only drums.
My drums.